We are live. Hey, Bill, how are you? How you doing, buddy? Can you hear me? I think you might have yourself on mute, buddy. Regardless, I like the Mandalorian guy. And while he figures out his tech, we'll say hi to everybody in chat. Francisco in the house. First one here. Hello from Walt Disney World. First time visit. I love it. Francisco, I am so jealous. Hope you're having a great time. T. Marie's place was going on. She's in here. Opening day better be April or someone's going to be cranky. Spoiler alert. Me too. Cricket says hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much. Share us out. Thank you so much, Cricket. You're not the only one, T. Marie. It means I have no work. Really? Oh, geez, that's a rough one. T. Marie says, I wish it were like March, like usual, but oh well, I'll take what I can get. Jason Nudo in the house. He's here for the fireworks. I've got my buddy Bill in here. Excuse me, I got the hiccups too. I got my buddy Bill in here. If you're expecting Walt, he can't make it. He's got to wake up early for work tomorrow. So if you were over on the NFL Inside the Huddle on Pete McDevitt's show, thank you. We're going to do that show every week, and then we're going to have this show. It's going to be mostly baseball. We'll talk other sports as it comes up. Bill, I think we can hear you now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Absolutely. I like the Mando behind you, man. That is sweet.
Yeah, last minute. Sorry about coming in last minute.
You're good, dude. You're good. I know what you were doing. I hope it all worked out. We'll talk about that after. I am fired up about baseball season. I always am fired up. When March hits, I say this with no embarrassment at all. Opening day is my favorite day of the year. And I love me some Christmas. Christmas is my birthday. So it's like a double whammy. And I still love opening day more. It's my favorite day of the year. I miss baseball. We don't have baseball. I'm happier the 9 months of baseball than I am the 3 months of not baseball. That's just true. I've been a baseball fan since the day I was born. I know you have too, Bill.
Yeah.
You think we're playing? Do you think we're playing in April?
No.
You think we're playing in May?
I'd like to think so, but I think with what happened in 2020 with the COVID, with MLB and the players negotiating for that, which was unfathomable that they couldn't come to an agreement under those circumstances to get back on the field sooner. And the players have got a really sour taste in their mouth. And supposedly, I think the players are dug in for the long haul now. After this last negotiations last week where they shot down the supposed Major League Baseball's final and best offer, the big sticking point is MLB tried to sneak some language in that
love that you know this,
that the players didn't they picked out, and a lot of them made comments. They think we're stupid, but we're not.
It's really, and guys, I love Walt. Okay, so NFL Inside the Huddle show on Pete's channel. Me and Walt are buddies. We were buddies. But sometimes you would pay for the pre-show and the post-show, people. Like, you think we get fired up on the live show. We get fired. I don't understand, and I want to hear from everybody in chat, and I want to hear from you. I think that me and you are pretty much on the same page on this, but we'll find out for sure in a minute. But I want to hear, well, there you go, Movie Mania Nick. And hello, welcome into the show, buddy. The players make enough money as is, shaking my head. This is ridiculous. So that is the absolute line and play that the owners are making here. So we've got a bunch of things to cover tonight. We're going to talk about the lockout and updates. We're going to talk about Mike Trout speaks. We're going to talk about Jock Peterson speaks. We're going to talk about Derek Jeter. Should he be the commissioner? He left the Marlins. Why did he leave the Marlins? I can tell you the reason, and it's not good. Who am I forgetting? There's another one. Trey Turner's talking about one of the best college baseball starts of the season ever. We'll get to it all, but let's just start with the lockout. And I love you, Nick, but here it comes. The owners locked out the players. So first of all, if you're mad at the people who are told they can't go to work, it doesn't start with a K, but it sounds a lot like crazy. That's insane, and that's where a lot of people are. The owners, the owners are playing on this hatred for rich people. I'm going to make a Bernie Sanders joke here. Sorry. I don't understand why we're mad at the millionaires, but we're not mad at the billionaires. And the billionaires are the ones that said, yeah, we have a contract with you, but we're not going to let you play. Now, the CBA expired, but they locked them out. So if the owners, and I'll read some articles and we'll talk about it, but I'm giving my early opinion here. If the owners wanted to negotiate, why did they lock out the players? All that did was make sure the free agents couldn't find a home. They couldn't decide where they're playing. They're playing on the public's perception that the rich, spoiled players should get on the field. When the players would play, the owners aren't letting them. Anything you want to say on that about Bill?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it. The day that it settled, I can understand if the contract ended I forget the exact date. It was December 1st, 2nd, whatever it was. Why didn't they, try to negotiate then? I mean, they just locked them out on the day, and then
They wanted to have the lockout.
They did zero negotiations for the first 52 days. I mean, the owners aren't in a hurry to settle, and I don't understand.
They plan. So I said, and I don't think I said it during the show. I think it was on the post show. So I'm going to share. In 2019, I think it was the 40th straight year. I don't have my data in front of me. I might be off. But in 2019, it was I think the 40th straight year, but a long run of consecutive years of profitability for Major League Baseball.
Right.
In 2020, we had the pandemic. In 2021, we still had the pandemic. Obviously, revenues would be down for those 2 years. Try running a CVS. All right. So Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, comes out yesterday. I think, hey, Leash, what's going on? Comes out yesterday and says, we've had a really rough 5 years. The last 5 years have been rough for us financially. You freaking liar. That's a pandemic year and a pandemic year. 2019 was, again, I think it's 40 straight years of profitability in the million. I think it was 3 billion they made it. I don't have the data in front of me. I don't want to throw out numbers and be off. A ton of money they're making. A ton of money. The owners are making a ton. The players are making a ton. The local TV rights are through the roof for all the teams.
They've broken all kinds of records
for revenue.
What these teams are getting. Yes. Just for the new TV contracts.
And they're setting the price. What's going on is they're trying to. They don't want to call it a salary cap, but they have a salary cap, and it basically penalizes teams, and it's a stupid rule. So Stephen Cohen is the owner of the Mets, and they're calling it the Stephen Cohen rule. They're trying to fix the cap, they being the owners, because if you just barely go over the cap, you don't get much of a penalty. So Stephen Cohen came out and said, "I'm never going to go barely over the cap. If I'm going over the cap, I'm going way over the cap."
Yeah, if you're going to pay the penalty, you might as well make it worth.
So if you're one of the 32 that makes the stupid rule, and one of your own is going to take advantage of that rule, you're an idiot. And they are. I know they're billionaires and they're clearly smart in real life, but they're just stupid. Also, they're not trying to let any player see. Here's the real reason that I will probably be on the player side, even if they made some mistakes. The owners screw players every year. You hear about that young stud. It was Chris Bryant a few years ago, Steven Strasburg, Juan Soto. The list goes on and on. There's 2 or 3 every year that are ready. Fernando Tatis that are ready every year, but they hold them back. Why? So they don't
can control them for another year.
Yeah. It's
Chris Bryant was one of the last big ones that a lot of the players and the writers were all screaming about.
Well, I mean, but
he was
Fernando Tatis, Juan Soto, and every year there's a bunch every year, and they're screwing the players. They set the stupid rules, right? And then they don't like how the agents are smarter than them, and they figure out how to get around the rules. I'm way behind in chat. Let me say hi to Leash. Let's see. Oh, I got a notification that we're live. That's good. It's funny how the Major League Baseball has problems. Sorry that they don't have problems. People in the Ukraine have problems. Amen. Get together, owners and players. I don't want to make the analogy, the Putin owners analogy, but boy, is it there right now. It's ugly. I'm not going to go there, but, Putin is lying to his people. The owners are expecting the public to not read the headlines. No, to only read the headlines, to not read deep in, to not follow Jock Peterson and Trey Turner on Instagram, not know the real story, and the public sentiment will be they're millionaires. They should play because we watched too many cartoons where we were mad about growth. I don't know.
Well, one comment, I agree with Nick. The players are making a lot of money, but if you read a lot of this, what they end up with, especially, the guys that are negotiating for the players, this is about a lot of it's about the younger guys. The guys that, like you said, that are getting screwed out of that year where they can reach free agency sooner. The guys that are the fringe players that are coming up that might not be here long, the minor leaguers. Yeah, they're trying to do some other stuff as far as the competition and not just, even though what they're doing, it's still a few teams that hold all the marbles, that, the big money teams. And they're trying to even the playing field out a little more.
Hey, Go Caps. Here's the problem, and I'm going to read some of the stuff here. The players, I am definitely on the player side. Okay, if you're not sure what side I'm on the player side. The players are getting screwed on so many different levels. Mar, I love you, Mar, and I'm going to attack what you just said there. I don't understand this thinking. So the players make a lot of money. The owners don't want to pay the players. Who do you think makes more, the owners or the players?
Yeah.
I know
$30 some million a year is nothing to sneeze at, but
I just don't understand that thinking. I can't. I'm not smart enough to understand how the general public thinks the players are the ones being bullied or being the bullies here. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Go Caps. I think I said hello to you. Hello to you. We, the fans, are a heck of a lot smarter than they give us credit for. You know what they say. It all starts at the top. The owners are billionaires. Exactly. So let's just get to some of this. Okay. Mike Trout. All right. Mike Trout doesn't like talking in public. Mike Trout and Rob Manfred. Rob Manfred is the commissioner of Major League Baseball. They don't get along. Rob Manfred has come out and spoke negatively about Mike Trout, how he's hurting baseball because he's not the face of baseball because he doesn't want to talk. He's playing ball. He doesn't want to be a big celebrity. He just wants to play. So anyway, the best player in baseball has added his voice to the chorus of players they're putting the blame on Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred for the first 2 series of the regular season being canceled. And if you didn't know, the first 2 series, so 6 to 8 games, are canceled. A day after the league instituted the deadline, came and went without a new CBA, collective bargaining agreement. Mike Trout voiced his frustration through social media, and he said, I want to play. I love our game, but I know we need to get the CBA right. Instead of bargaining in good faith, Major League Baseball has locked us out. Instead of negotiating a fair deal, Rob, commissioner, canceled games. Players stand together for our game, for our fans, and for every player who comes after us. We owe it to the next generation. I don't know how. I have trouble understanding the argument that the players are at fault when, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but people are coming in. The owners locked them out. The owners would not allow them to negotiate. The owners keep trying to slip stuff in. They want to have a pool of money for the players who are arbitration eligible. Hey, Dean, what's going on? Arbitration is a stupid idea. It makes the players fight with the team, so it's stupid. Yep. And it because what it is the arbitration. You dive in here, Bill, if I'm talking too much or you want to refute anything. Arbitration says we're going to get a third party. So the players are going to say, well, this is what I do and why it's valuable to the team. And the owners are going to say, well, this is what you do. And this is why we think it's this number, right? And the players get richer and richer and richer every year. Why? Because if you take the emotion out of it and you look at just the data, money coming in, who's earning that money, the players should get more. Third parties, arbitrators, every year say this. They put out the number, the owners put out the number, and it's deflated. The owners know they screwed up with arbitration, so they're trying to get rid of that. There's so much more.
Yeah, anyway. And then the first thing Manfred tried to do was, what did he want to do? Go to mediation or to an arbitrator, basically, over the negotiations. And the players, they've shot that down twice because usually what happens most of the times, most of the arbitrations are in the owner's favor.
You think? I think the players have made out like bandits with arbitration.
Yeah, the good players. I think
all of them. I think when you have a third party who doesn't have a skin in the game, they say where the value comes from the field. Here, I said this. If the 32 owners went away and we got brand new 32 owners, right? We got rid of every owner and we got new owners. No one would see a difference. If we got rid of every player and we got new players, the product would be immensely worse for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, there was
who should get paid.
He's not one of my favorite writers, but Jeff Passan
he's not one of my favorite either, but he's been right on this.
He made a comment about that, something about the 1,200 players who's going to be missed more. Yeah. And that's probably the one thing that I've agreed with him on in a long time. But yeah,
I'm not a fan of him either, but he's right on this one. Nick, I'm sorry, Blaine. Sorry, I got here late. When do you think they will start? I'm hopeful May 15th. That's what I'm hopeful. Bill, what do you think?
I don't know. I think after that last underhanded thing that, with the owners trying to sneak in some language into the deal at the last second, I don't think we're going to see games before Memorial Day.
Yeah, you're probably right. Jock Peterson, I'm a big fan of him. He came out and said the following.
I loved his comment.
Official. We'll play 162 games, 7 innings each. They play 9 if you don't know. 32 teams make the playoffs. There's only 32 teams in the playoffs, and everyone gets a participation trophy. He's obviously mocking the owners. The owners want to have expanded playoffs because they make a ton of revenue in there, and they don't want to share that revenue with the players. They want them to play longer. Also, the owners learn something, just like the players learn something. Hey, Hassan, what's going on, man? When the Dodgers won the World Series in the shortened season, it was a great season. It was a shortened season, and I wish we had more games, but boy, was it a great season. We don't need 162 games. The players would love to have a less of a season. So here's what's going on in my never so humble opinion. The owners said, we'll be tough on these guys, and we'll show them. And they're trying to get public perception to be mad. I think everybody who watched Bugs Bunny get railroaded off of his farm on Saturday morning cartoons for 20 years is going to be on the side of the players because they're millionaires. I don't understand it, but that's what's going to happen. And the players learned very clearly the owners want to expand the playoffs and they want to have a 162 game season. So if you're not going to let us negotiate, if you're going to screw all our free agents, if you're going to not let anyone, they locked them out. If you're going to lock them out, why not just take a couple months off? Here's what's going to happen. Late March, early April, if it's still going, we're going to see Mookie Betts and Jock Peterson, Mike Trout on Instagram with their beautiful girlfriends in Aruba. And the owners think that the public perception will be against the players, and it will be for a while, but it won't matter because we'll come back in droves. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, that's I said it before. After the steroids, I thought that the fans stayed away, but they come back. I mean, if you love baseball, you love baseball. But at a point, the fans can only take so much. I mean, and Nick is right. It's not just the players; it's billionaires fighting with millionaires, and not a lot of them are multi-millionaires. It's a handful of players. What is there, 1,200 players at whatever in the major leagues or whatever it is, 1,000 players?
I think 600 to 800 usually at one time. So
yeah, maybe that's I'm thinking with minor leagues and everything. But it's a handful of them, and most of them are making the minimum. And yeah, the major league minimum is still good. I mean, there's no question about
they're negotiating.
that.
It looks like it's going to be about 800,000 this year. That's insane.
Yeah, I think the last one the players wanted 7.
I think the owners wanted 750 and the players wanted 8.
Yeah, and I think the owners had upped their last thing. They upped it to 7 or 710 with I forget what the raises were over the next 4 years after.
Again, I want to point out something. If I'm a Major League Baseball, I work in the nonprofit industry. I can go. I've worked at the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Marcos. I've worked at the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Diego. I worked at the Boys and Girls Clubs of the San Gorgonio Pass. I worked at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Hood County. I could go anywhere I wanted. I could go work for the YMCA. The Boy Scouts tried to hire me. There's plenty of places I can go. If I'm a Major League Baseball player, I don't have any control of where I can play. None. Zero. No. I have, until I've been in the league for, is it 6? I don't even know when you're a free agent anymore. 5, 6 years, whatever it is.
Yep.
I have no right to negotiate my future unless I want to go to Mexico or Japan. I've got no option. Now, I'm not saying they don't make good money. They make great money, but there's only 600 to 800 of them on the planet that can do it. And we're mad at the guy who's on his yacht. Yep. We're on Mark Cuban's side. He's not a Major League Baseball owner, but he's a name that you guys might know. We're on the owner side, which, by the way, I'm not against rich people. Matter of fact, I love me some rich people. I super love rich people. I can't wait to be one someday. But I don't understand why the owners lock the players out and we're mad at the players. And I think it's going to – I think the USA Today crowd is going to be mad at the players, but I think the people who don't really read the articles that are only on the headlines are the ones that are going to be here.
That's my biggest thing. I could see if they negotiated, from December 2nd till say February 1st.
What is the owner's reasoning for not negotiating in the offseason?
Exactly. I could see locking them out now if they didn't get anything in those 60 days and kind of put a little pressure. But I mean, just to wait. And then
I don't know how I could ever be on the side of a lockout. If the players were like abusing people in the stands, I suppose I'd be on the owner's side. But the owners own a baseball team. They sign the players to the contracts that the owners control everything on.
Yes.
Everything. I have if you're my player, I'm the owner. You can sign with me and or no one else unless you're an eligible free agent, which less than 10% of any player in any year is.
Right.
So you can negotiate with me and only me for the first 6 or 7 years of your career. You have no freedom at all.
There's really no negotiation. It's just you get the raise, and then once you 3 years you become arbitration eligible, or after the 4 years.
It's going to change now, so it doesn't even matter what it was.
Yeah.
Here's a little secret that people probably don't know. The best of the best sign insurance policies. Like Fernando Tatis signed an insurance policy when he was like 18 years old, and he paid a premium every month that was going to make sure that he was a millionaire. So he's going to get, I don't have the data, but he gives up like 5% of his earnings forever in exchange for he was going to be a millionaire no matter what. Why? Right. He didn't have any control. Like you're on the Dodgers, they trade you to the Giants. Now you're on the Padres. You have no control over any of it. So anyway, Mark says, do the players hire agents and or lawyers? 99.9% of them. Yeah. Very few have not.
Here's my one question. And I just caught the headline earlier today. One of the big things, the agents were screaming at this last deal that the owners put up. Was it because of the language that they tried to sneak in, or is it something else
the players have been saying in unison on social media, the owners have not been serious. They're not negotiating in good faith. They clearly want to lock out to end some games.
But like I said, what was a lot of the biggest agents? The players' agents came out and were speaking against it. That was the article I saw, and I just saw it.
Of course, me on the player side, but I mean,
yeah, I just thought maybe it was something with they tried to sneak through. I thought it had to do with the language or something.
I'm not sure. Jason Nudo, what are your thoughts on a 5-game series and the higher ranked team starting with one win? I hate that. I don't mind like a 4-game series with 3-1. I think they should they're going to expand the playoffs. That's where all the money is. They're going to expand the playoffs. I think they're going to expand the playoffs way more than I want them to, but I'm resigned to it. And I think there's a lot of ways they can do it.
What are we up to now? Is it up to 10 now? Is that where we are now? Because I know they added
I don't think we have there's no CBA, so there's no real answer. I mean, how many were in last year?
No, what was it last year? Was it 10?
I think it was 10, yeah. And the problem with last year, I'm a Dodgers fan, but that is not my point here. The Dodgers won, I think, 107 games last year. I wouldn't swear to that. 108 is what the Giants won, pretty sure. And they had a 1-game playoff. Had they lost that 1 game, they'd be out. Again, I hate the word fair, but that's stupid. It's dumb.
Yeah, I never minded that at the end of the season. It's a shame that, like you say, to go through all that work all year and have it come down.
Indians can go 82-80 and get a bye.
That hasn't happened a lot over the years. I mean, last year was one. It's happened a few other times.
It seems silly to me to play 162 games and have one.
At least the best of 3, but then it just pushes. When you're getting into the colder weather, it just pushes the playoffs back.
Well, we could do a whole show. I was talking to my buddy Andy, who's a big baseball nut too, and I think we all who are nuts about this have our own ideas, and I have some pretty fun ideas, but we'll talk about that another night. Hassan, I'm doing great, man. I hope you are too. I really appreciate you being here. Ken, the content coach, he's in my what is that called? Not my chat. What is that called? The scroll on the bottom. Sunday nights, Creator Talk Live, 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock Eastern time. Other times, other places, depending on where you live. He'll be my guest. We talk about Creator Talk, how to grow on YouTube, how to grow on.
You're going to have another Packers fan on your show.
Oh, the Packers! Part owner of the Pack. I don't know. You're such a nice guy, yet you're a Phillies fan and a Packers fan. Like what is it? Did you fall down? Like what is wrong with you? What you got?
I'm just smart. I don't sniff the smog out in LA.
I did my fair share of that. Anyway, Ken's a good guy. Please check him out with me on my channel Sunday night. I think, and I didn't send you that email today, Ken. I'll probably send it to you tomorrow. Fridays are a big busy day for me, but maybe I'll still do it tonight. But we're just gonna have a great conversation. I think it will happen towards April 20th, says Rally. Or so. I hope you're right. These players will get something going because they want to play regardless because they love the game so much. I think the players, okay, so Mookie Betts came out right after they locked him out, and a bunch of players have done it since, but Mookie was the first one I saw. And they said, are you kidding me? They're locking us out? Fine, we'll take some games off. I think now the players have got 2 fingers for them, and they're gonna take some time off. I do. And here's who gets screwed right now, and I am pissed about this. The Uber driver in Peoria, Arizona, and the waitress at Chili's in Florida. I think that the spring training locales have been screwed year after year after year, and the owners clearly could have thrown him a bone this year. If they wanted to play hardball, they could have played hardball on opening day.
Yeah,
but they
Yeah,
screwed
and what
spring
and
training.
what do the owners do to those cities to get their sweet spring training deals and all these concessions from
They
these
politic
towns?
them to death
Exactly.
to have the
I
local,
don't. That's always been one of my biggest beefs with
and it's
any
stuff that
sport.
the general fan doesn't
You
pay
build your
attention
own
to,
damn stadium. You
right?
know, I
Yeah.
mean, if I
Why is
got
the
a
billionaire
business
not
and
buying the stadium in Peoria, Arizona? They're making the taxpayers do it.
yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing something out there like Dell Computer or whatever business. Are they going to go to the town and say, I got this business idea. If you build us a facility, build my headquarters.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, because they've got political power. Because
And then where you are, how old was Texas Stadium? That wasn't that old. It was a nice stadium. What did they have to do? Oh, we can't compete anymore. They got to go back to the city, and now they got to build a brand new stadium.
So I'm on the player side on the argument now, the lockout. But if I own the Dodgers, if I own the Cowboys, and I can get somebody else to pay for it,
Yeah.
I mean, they're good businessmen. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
But I mean, the truth is, Al Davis did it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Hey, Oakland, I love you. Okay, I'm going to go to Vegas. Oh, Vegas, I love. Okay, I'm going to. He's playing the game.
What have you done for me lately?
Who are the dumbest people on the planet? It's not Walmartians. It's politicians.
Yeah.
And they love taking people's money and giving it away. Come on. If you're a local politician, you're a city councilman, you're a supervisor of the county, you're the governor's staff, you're whatever you are, and you get Jerry Jones calling you like, hey, let's go have lunch. Well, that's a lunch you want to go to, and they kiss your butt and you feel important, and that's how the game is played.
I mean, a lot of the spring training facilities, I watch some on the MLB channel during spring, and a lot of the stadiums aren't filled up. But I used to do a lot of photography down in Fort Myers for the Twins. And those Midwestern people that are Twins fans, that stadium is packed every game. Yep. It's packed with 7. Now it's up to 9 or 10,000 since they increased the size of the stadium. And that's all them people that are coming down for a week trip, a 2-week trip. People that if the Twins weren't there, they might come down because it's Minnesota, it's cold, and they want to go somewhere warm. But they're coming down there because of the Twins. They could go somewhere else where it's warm.
That economic boom of, I mean, I never went to Florida. I went to Arizona every year, but it's huge for those little towns.
And then a lot of the places afterwards around the stadium, the local restaurants and bars, people will go there and support those places. And so they're losing a lot of money, the town of Fort Myers, just for one, and with the Red Sox being there.
Exactly.
So they're losing a lot of money.
After they were politicked and, hey, if you'll do this, then you'll get this revenue. And now you don't. Here for a moment, announce what's going on here for a moment. Appreciate you guys being here.
President, they had to build the Red Sox a new stadium.
Exactly.
A few years ago. They had one in downtown.
Tiny little town in nowhere.
Yeah.
All their revenue is going there. I heard they want to expand it to 4 teams. They want to expand it bigger than that. The owners, and again, I'd rather it be less, but I get it. That's where the money is. The best baseball is playoff baseball. So it's coming. I actually think it's going to be closer to 20 or 24 teams even. And yes, I know there's only 32 teams. That's a whole nother show. Ken says, Packers fan, smart dude. What? Bill, did he catch it? Did Des catch it? Tell the truth.
Oh, come on.
Exactly.
He's a cowboy. He didn't catch it.
Whatever. Jay, wild card round should be 3 games, 1 doubleheader, then a game the next day. Well, I don't like the doubleheader idea. I've got some pretty big ideas on that. We'll talk about that another night, I guarantee it. Again, we're going to do this every Thursday night now. So Thursday night over on Pete McDevitt's channel, Inside the Huddle, we talk football. Then right after this, we're going to talk baseball. Whether Bill stays on as my guest, which he's always welcome to do, or it's just me. I love baseball. I'll talk baseball all day long. I do have a sports channel. I'll eventually put it over there. But for now, let's be real. I'm monetized over here. And it just, is it the smartest move for growth? No, but I don't. While I care about those things, I'm just having fun over here with my friends, and it is what it is. I'm going to watch more college baseball this year. Amen. So let's get to that point here for a moment. Brings up. So this guy is unbelievable. Where'd it go? Come on. Tommy Tanks, a college baseball player. Tommy Tanks is going viral. Tommy White is having a run for the ages. I noticed this because I follow some ball players, Dodger players. Trey Turner was the one that put him on my radar, but now it's everywhere. He's 6'2", he's 242. He plays first base. He's begun his college career in a pretty good fashion. On Saturday, White went yard, that means a home run, people, in each game of NC State's doubleheader. He now has, in his first 8 games of the season, 9 home runs. Holy cow.
He's playing college baseball in a Little League park.
Right? In those 8 games, he's a freshman. He's hit .588, 588, 20 for 34. He's got 29 RBIs in 8 games.
That's insane. That's wiffle ball.
If you know what an OPS is, 2.062. I do. I know there's some big fans in here and there's some not some big fans. Tommy Tanks has fueled the Wolfpack there now 8-0. Before adding 2 more long balls to his tally, White discussed his big time power and said this: I've never experienced a hot streak like this. None of us have. I'm 52. They haven't let me pick up a bat in a lot of time. I don't get to put on my football helmet. I don't have a bat anymore. They don't let me play. When I go to the high school field, they just kick me out and they say, hey, creepy guy, go away. So I haven't done it in a long time, but I still have dreams of the ball compressing off the bat and split. My dreams are splitting the gap. I don't know why. I guess I didn't hit enough home runs. I didn't. But that feeling, you only get it so many times in your life. This guy's had it like crazy. I'm not really focused on how many I hit. I just focused on hard contact, focusing on the game and the wins. Los Angeles Dodgers star Trey Turner even asked for some pointers. Bro, we need it to hit next season. Need to learn this home run every day thing. That's from a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah, I think in the one article that I saw on him, I think he said he hit 5 home runs his entire senior season at the high school level. So he's having a career in his first 2 weeks.
Right? I'm just an old fat guy now, but when I played, I was pretty good. I can tell you in my entire career, not including inside the Parkers, and most of my inside the Parkers were there's no fence splitting out. I was a doubles and triples guy. So if there's no fence, it was a home run. So that doesn't count. In my whole career, I only hit the ball over the fence once. In my whole career, and I was good. I was good. I wasn't a power hitter. And he's got.
That's before you had that extra muscle behind you.
Yeah. I probably get more home runs now, but I definitely get less doubles and triples. Anyway, hey, Hatbox Ghost Analysis. We were talking about your boy Carson Wentz on the show earlier. Hope you're having a great day. Mar, where'd it go? Mar had a point. Oh, I love minor league games. Yeah, you tell you what, Jay. Bill knows, and I'll speak to that. Some of my favorite baseball memories are at a minor league park. Lake Elsinore was the Padres now, but they were the Angels when I lived there, and that was not real close to where I live, but close enough that we can make a day trip of it. We usually go once or twice a year. The California League, boy, if you love baseball, you ever get a chance, the California League is the place to go. It's such a beautiful assortment of ballparks. It's unbelievable. I highly recommend minor league baseball if you get a chance. I'm a big Teddy Roosevelt fan, and we've got I can't think what are they called? Rough Riders. We got the Rough Riders in town, and this year they're wearing Negro Leagues jerseys for a while, and they look sweet. So I might go out to some games. But they in the minor leagues, they do such a great job with marketing and making it about the fans, and every seat is close. So I highly suggest if you live in a town where there's a minor league team, go check it out. Yeah, where can you watch those games? Which ones are you talking about? There's a lot of NCAA on. You got into Japanese baseball during the pandemic, am I right?
Yeah, no, it was Korean. The Korean League.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They were broadcasting the games on ESPN, and a lot of those were early in the mornings. And there were some notable names on there that played in the MLB that were playing over there, and it was pretty interesting to watch. It was, nobody in the stands, but it was still interesting. It was
baseball. I miss baseball. I am apt to get into college baseball more than.
Yeah, I like college baseball, and I didn't do it the last couple of years because of all the craziness. But for the people that do like the minor leagues, MLB has the MLB at Bat app, and you can buy the season package. And I usually buy it through MLB, where I can watch it on my phone, my iPad, and also on my TV through the internet. But if you go to I think it's MILB, the minor league.
That's a great site.
They have the same thing. You can buy a package for them, and it's a lot cheaper than the MLB. But you get quite a few.
Well, I'm not subscribed to the broadcast, but the website is amazing.
You get a lot of games. They have a package where there's so many games per week you can watch with the minor leagues, and I love watching the minor leagues.
That's awesome.
I used to go a lot. The Phillies have one up in Central Jersey, about 15 minutes away from where I am.
Very cool.
And they're A team, and it's always fun to go there. And
yeah, I'll go to a Rough Rider game for sure this year. T. Marie, you are not an idiot. I love you, and I hope you know that. Tina, they're hard to find. You can see them online on ESPN3. Hatbox Ghost says, from the kids up now, they are all taught the home run swing almost exclusively. Yeah, what I was taught by my coaches, and I coached some baseball too, but when I was young and learning, what they're teaching ball players now, I would have got yelled at for.
Oh,
which is why I was a doubles and triples hitter. I mean, I listened to my coaches and it worked, and I wasn't that big, so I never would have big power hitter, but they're lift and release now. I mean, we're not going to get too technical because I doubt anyone's going to care, but Charlie Lau was one of those.
I was just going to say he was
Charlie Lau would be
unbelievable.
laughed out of the locker rooms now.
Yeah, top hand release.
Yes.
Those that don't know, he was an old pitching coach, I believe, for the White Sox and the Royals at one time also.
Hitting coach.
Yeah, hitting coach. That's not
yeah,
hitting coach. He was
he was legendary. Well, I mean, if you Wade Boggs, think Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up in San Diego. I was a Dodgers fan, but Tony Gwynn, I didn't idolize Tony Gwynn, but boy, he was the greatest player that I got to watch up close. And he was, the 5-6 hole, just ground ball between short and third. He could turn on a fastball and hit a home run now and then, but especially in 87 when the ball was a little bit juiced. But I always kind of appreciated the leadoff hitter more than the cleanup hitter. There's no leadoff hitters anymore. I mean, you're just, Juan Soto is likely going to lead off for Washington, and the game has just changed so much.
Yeah.
Let's see. I grew up in California, says Jason Nudo. Got to play in the Orange County Championship game. That's awesome at Angel Stadium. What's the nicest ballpark you've ever played in, Mr. Magic of the Mouse?
That I played in? Well, I played at Doubleday Field up in Cooperstown.
Hi, Mickey and Wendy.
I played at I played in a hardball league in Fort Myers too, and we played at the old Red Sox field in downtown Fort Myers. I'd have to say those two.
That's nice.
The Red Sox field and Doubleday. The stands needed some work and all, but it was just the players that have played there over the years. I mean, you're sitting in a dugout where Babe Ruth sat, where
that's cool.
Where Mickey Mantle sat when they used to play the game every year. I believe they still do it now. They started again where they played that one game every year where two teams came and played in Cooperstown, and it's just a lot of history at that field.
Best ballpark I ever played in, actually, if I count football, I played in Jack Murphy Stadium, which used to be where the Padres and the Chargers played in San Diego. Played football. We were in the county championship. We tied, whatever. But I got a cool picture of me under center, quarterback, with the big scoreboard. So that's kind of fun. It's way far back, but it's me. That's kind of fun.
Thought you were going to say that was the game where you were laying, with mud in your face and drool coming out after Junior Seau whacked you.
Oh, that was in Oceanside, California. And he could have murdered me if he wanted to. He was a little bit better than me and everyone else that he ever played against.
Just to answer Nick's question, yes, Nick. I've been to a Trenton Thunders game a few years back. Fun. That's a nice stadium and beautiful downtown Trenton. What the Trenton makes, the world takes, or whatever the saying is that they have up there.
Baseball wise, you talked about playing in a place where somebody that was famous played. My last high school game, so I'll give you two versions of this. And I think I probably told you, Bill, but for people in chat. So in my high school career, I only struck out 3 times in my entire high school career. I hit 400 my senior year. That's pretty good. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying I didn't suck. But I struck out twice of those 3 times in my last game I ever played in the playoffs. And that field was Ted Williams Park. And if you hit a home run over right field, which I did not do, I struck out. But if you hit a home run over right field, Ted Williams' house was there. His childhood home was right on that road right there. And it's my worst game I ever played in. But it was still Ted Williams played on that field. So that's amazing to me.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't a great field, but I played a freshman year of high school. I played a game up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is not too far from Philadelphia. And I got struck out 3 times in the one game freshman year by Earl Hershiser.
Yeah, there you go. I will say this: I never played there, but I'm from San Diego, and I just saw an article. It might have been what was this week, like a couple days ago. Point Loma Nazarene. It's a college in San Diego. Actually, my wife almost went there, but she didn't. But anyway, it's right down by the Point Loma lighthouse, right there in San Diego, right on the harbor. And it's the most beautiful ballpark in America, they say. And the fence is clear, so you can see the Pacific Ocean. So the ball players who play there, I mean, if I knew that then, I would have tried to play there because maybe, you know. Mickey and Wendy, welcome in. I hope you're having a great time. Happy to see you in the chat. I appreciate you. If you're new here, by the way, I should say that, please subscribe to my channel. This is my buddy Bill. Magic of the Mouse Radio. If you don't know, Bill's got a great radio station, Magic of the Mouse Radio. Just type it into your browser, or say it to your Alexa enabled system or your Google enabled system.
They can just go to magicatthemouseradio.com, and right on the homepage, we got a player right there that they can.
It's awesome. And I had a show last year, and we just had a nice phone call today where we're going to start putting some more content out from me on there. But regardless, if you like, I almost said Christmas music. If you like Disney music, it's the place to be. Oh,
I don't know. I might lock you out for a better terms.
But it really is like I'm not just saying it because he's sitting here. I love Disney music, and it's the best. I listen to Sirius XM in the car, and I listen to Magic Mouse Radio all the other times. And so
there you go. You just got a super chat from
Pass Older Pair, Mike and Orval.
Well, there
people on the planet.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Pass Older Pair, he's from Fort Myers, correct?
I know he's from
Florida. He's in the Fort Myers area, and he's another. I'm pretty sure that's him.
I'm very hopeful.
Go to what I said earlier about the money that the Fort Myers area is they're losing because of the Twins not playing. I mean, they're doing okay, but because it's winter. But they would be doing a whole lot better because them Midwesterners, they love the Twins.
Well, I was messaged back and forth with them to see yesterday or the day before. Hopefully, we'll get to meet up in November. Next time I'm down there, I look forward to that very much. Hello, just got home from our middle school playoff soccer game. Nice, big win. Glad to catch you live. Glad to have you here. I'm way behind in chat, guys. Let me scroll up. I apologize. Pepperdine has a great stadium. I'm not a fisherman by any means, Nico, but my grandfather was. So when I was a kid, we're talking like old elementary and junior high, he would take me fishing, and we would often go to Malibu and off that pier. I think that's where I discovered girls, but that's a whole different live stream. But that I kind of fell in love with that area. If I was good enough, I would have tried to go there. I was not. I wanted to go to Arizona State. I was definitely not good enough to play there.
When I went out to a seminar in California in Orange County about 10 years ago, I did a college game. We were doing, they broke us up, and a couple of us went to do the baseball game there. And I want to say it was Long Beach State. I'm not 100% sure. It was literally the night before we did the game, and we couldn't get to the stadium because all the roads were blocked. It was the night that the Angels pitcher got killed in a car crash, Nick Adenhart.
I remember that.
And so if you're familiar where he got in his accident.
I know I know exactly where that is.
Well, what college? It's right up the street. That was a really nice field for a college field.
I don't know what college.
I want to say it was Long Beach State. But I don't remember. That was a really nice field out there.
I want to answer a question, but I got something I want to show. So Hatbox Ghost says, I played baseball and coached baseball for many years. You're right. The swing I taught then is definitely not the swing I teach today. I had one of my favorite conversations ever with a gentleman named Ken Griffey Jr. He's a big Boys and Girls Club supporter. He's an alumni. He was being put in the Hall of Fame. I knew he was going to be there. I brought a ball. I brought some other memorabilia. I knew he would sign it because it would be a place where he wouldn't be inundated. And I'm trying to find the picture I've got. I don't want to make you guys wait, but so I let him, all the kids were there, and I let him talk, and I stood there, and so I'm pretty close to him, but the conversation is still with other people. I'm just waiting my turn to talk to him real fast, right? And I'm with one of my employees who's standing next to me, and she's not a big baseball fan, but she's waiting with me because she's being nice. And so I don't know what she said, something like, tell me about him. I don't know what she said. And I said, the most beautiful swing I've ever seen was this guy. And I mean that. Him and Will Clark are my favorite swings I've ever seen. Ken Griffey Jr. He heard me say that. And then he talked to me, I'm not exaggerating, for closer to an hour than not, probably 45 minutes. He held court, but it was a one-on-one with people watching. And he swears that the best swing in his family is not his. He said it was Trey for 3, Griffey, who actually got drafted in football. He went to, was it Arizona State?
Arizona State, I think he went to. It was one of the two.
I don't know. I don't remember now. Regardless, he was a receiver for them, and he was kind of a fringe NFL guy. He made the team, but he never played in the NFL, and he got bounced around. He's not in their net anymore. But he said that Trey had the best swing, and we talked his swing, learning from his dad, watching his kids grow up. It was like one of my favorite baseball moments, and it was in Orlando, Florida, but it was in a big convention center, one of the big hotels there, and it was just such a nice guy. But yeah, his swing, he
grew up on Three Rivers field and the dugouts. I mean,
he got to watch his daddy Ken Griffey and Concepcion and Rose and Bench and Morgan. And, oh my gosh, Tony Perez.
Ask him about his hatred
Toronto.
for the Yankees after his dad went to the Yankees and Steinbrenner wouldn't allow him on the field or in the dugout. And he said he would play for any team there was. He would play for $1, but he wouldn't play for the Yankees for $100 million.
Right. And I love that because I hate the Yankees too. Jason Udo, I guarantee I never had a game. I threw the ball and I never had a 4 touchdown game. I guarantee you that. We ran the ball a lot. Played baseball on the same field as in Orlando Cepeda. Dang, that's a great one. No problem, Cricket. I'm glad you're here. Pepperdine. Paso Pair again. Thank you so much for being here and for the super chat. You're amazing. I think we're getting caught up. Okay, so well, I plan on going for an hour. I don't want to go too much longer, but we haven't hit all the stories. I want to show you guys that picture, but that seems self-indulgent, so I won't do that. Derek Jeter for Major League Baseball commissioner. This is interesting. So Derek Jeter just quit the Marlins. Now, the Marlins have a young elite pitching core. They look like they could have one of the best staffs in baseball this year, but they're not going to have any offense at all. He was told that when the lockout, when the season, this spring training, this free agent year, they were going to get to spend, I think, $20 million or $40 million or whatever to get some bats for the Marlins. Ownership comes to him just the other day and says, oh, now that there's a lockout, never mind, you don't get any money to spend. So me and Bill could hit in the 4 and 5 hole on the Marlins roster right now. So they're basically...
That's how bad things are.
Yeah, and this goes back to, let me be clear. With the situation with the salary cap, the Cleveland Indians, the Pittsburgh Pirates, there's 2 or 3 or 4 teams at the bottom that are profitable every year, and they don't put on a good product. But they're winning because if the Yankees go over, if the Mets go over, if the Dodgers go over the threshold, they get penalized. And the higher they go above a threshold, the more they get penalized. So that money goes into the pool, and they spread it out on to the teams like the Orioles, like the Baltimore Orioles need money, to the Pittsburgh Pirates, to the, I already named the names. Their system it's not even communism. It's not even welfare. It's set up. So if you go over a lot, and then you subsidize billionaires who decided to not spend money. And who does that screw? Does it screw the players? Not really. Because the players will go on to somebody else. They'll just play it for 4 or 5 years, and they'll go on to somebody else. Who does it screw? Bill, I'm asking. Who does it screw if a team just doesn't want to win?
Us.
Should the owners be profitable every freaking year, throwing a losing product out there every freaking year?
But even if they break even every year, they're still profitable. The way that the value of the franchises go up, they're still profitable.
You don't have to go to economics 101 class to I don't know how anyone can conceptualize on the data that is out there that's public that it's not hugely profitable to be a baseball owner. Again, Manfred came out and said it's been a real rough year or 5 years for us. Isn't that an interesting timetable? And again, they had like 40 straight years of profit through 2019. We don't have the data yet for the other years, but of course, 2020 would have been down. They didn't play. Anyway,
the salaries were also down too. I mean, it all equaled out in 2020.
By the way, they're negotiating. If Mike Trout's a free agent, if Mike Trout gets to the point where he can negotiate with other teams, if he even gets there, they're negotiating against each other. It's owner versus owner.
Right.
So they set up these rules to stop themselves from screwing themselves. That's how stupid these people are. And then they pretend like it's the players. Oh, I hate it. Why our Phoenix is missing out on spring? Exactly, Nico. Exactly.
Yeah, we were going to be there probably about now too, weren't we?
I was going to say we could have been doing the show from, I don't know, Peoria. Trey went to the U of A. Trey Griffey, yeah. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. So hear me out. Derek Jeter for MLB commissioner. This isn't me. This is from Deadspin. And I'll tell you why this won't happen at the end, right? I'm not going to read the whole article. Yes, Derek Jeter should be the next commissioner of baseball. We're going to be without. So again, Jeter just quit because the owners lied to him. He said, I didn't sign up for this. I quit when they said you can't have any money to have an offense. They're going to let these great pitchers that they have languish. They're not going to win. They're going to just get better for somebody else, and they'll trade them away because they're profitable. The Florida Marlins are or Miami now Marlins are profitable being a losing team. It's ridiculous. In some way, when Major League Baseball comes back, the playoffs will involve at least 12 teams, and the summer drama that was once so thrilling before the wild card will officially turn into little more than 6-month confirmation of what everyone knows from the start of spring training, with room for 1 or 2 surprise teams to make their way into the postseason. I deeply agree with that. That doesn't have to be a bad thing, and blah, 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 blah. Even the NHL, after they blew up the league in 2005, came back with rule changes and other things to make for a more exciting product. That's what baseball needs, steering into the skid. It's the only way. It's whatever. When the lockout ends, Manfred has got to go. He's the commissioner. It's not just because he's wound up being worse commissioner than the horrible Bud Selig, but at least like baseball, but because he's become toxic. The workforce will never trust him, the players. The public is repulsed by him, me, and his bosses can't even point to one Bud Selig record of labor peace, blah, 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 blah. All of this to say, here's the not so dirty little secret. The owners hire the commissioner in football and baseball and the NHL.
And they're not going to hire a player.
The commissioner works for the owners.
Yes.
In the NFL, there's been a big fight. Jerry Jones and the commissioner don't like each other. Jerry Jones used to run the league. Now he doesn't so much because Jerry believes one way and the commissioner is definitely on the other side of the political aisle and thinking aisle and all the things. Major League Baseball has a puppet. I didn't like Selig, but the guy they got in there, Rob Manfred, is doing his best to screw baseball, including right now. And so there's no mediator between the owners and the players. We think of the commissioner as somebody who's between the owners and the players. It's just not the case. The commissioner does the owner's bidding.
Yeah, he's their henchman.
So that article goes a little deeper, and I don't want to read the whole thing because I don't want to read an article to you guys because that's not fun content. But this guy's position is, let's bring in Jeter. He gets it. You know, that would be great for PR for a while, and I don't know, Derek Jeter might work, it might not. I think they need somebody who's in the middle.
Yeah.
Where's somebody doing what's best for the fans?
Yeah, the commissioner should be for baseball, not the owners, not the players, for all of baseball.
They're not. He's not. Let him walk off into the cornfields to never be seen again. Great movie. Jonathan Chong in the house. What's going on? Sounds like Star Wars. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know in chat. Is there anybody here who is on the player side? Because I really think that instantly, I mean, me and Bill, it sounds like are on the player side, but I think that we instantly as humans just go to, we're against the players. And I think as a player, I want baseball. As a fan, I think we need to shake up the owners. And I hope they take 60 days off. I don't because I want to watch baseball.
Yeah.
But I think the owners, again, I don't want to have a Russian oligarch comparison here.
Yeah. Like I said, I just think there's a lot of animosity with what's happened over the last, few years, and even going back even a few years before that. It's just, the players have had enough. And yeah, the big thing is they're looking out for the future, the younger players, to get their time so that it don't get screwed like a lot of the players you were talking about earlier. They got screwed over their not bringing them up until May or whatever, so they're under control for another year, and they're trying to put a little more money in their pockets. And if you're in the minor leagues, I mean, you're drafted into pro baseball, but you're not making much more than minimum wage.
If you're a minor league ball player, there's a 98% chance that what that means is you're starting your career 2 to 6 years after everybody else.
Yep.
Because it ain't a baseball career.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the guy who sold us our house was a first-round draft pick and never sniffed it, blew out his knee, never got out of rookie ball.
Yep.
And got a little payday, but not enough to live off of.
No.
I think that the general public sees $800,000 minimum salary, and Mookie Betts gets a $100 million contract, and Clayton Kershaw can retire at 33 if he wants to, and just it turns off their interest in or ability to think that the players are locked out right now. Yep. They haven't asked for anything. The owners have said, we want to do this, and we want to do this, and we want to do this, and we want to do this. This being expand the playoffs. This being have the universal DH, which the players have already said yes to. This being lots of other stuff. It gets a little technical, but they want to have pools of money for certain players, and they want to only have it 5% for this group and that group. And they're trying to number crunch to make sure there's a maximum amount to be paid so as they don't fight against themselves. So if I'm an owner and Bill's an owner, and I don't know, who do I want? Mike Trout. And he's a free agent. They want to put rules together so we can't decide what we want to pay him. Like, I don't want to get into America, but how, are you kidding me? Why can't, if I'm an owner or Bill's an owner, we set the market for Mike Trout? Why are we setting up rules so that we can't pay him what we think we want to pay him? If I'm a billionaire owner, I know my math and I know business enough to know if I pay Mike Trout X, it'll be profitable. Here's the thing. Justin Verlander's 38 years old. He just got a huge freaking contract. Huge contract.
2 years, $50 million, was it, or something?
And the Mets will be profitable.
Yeah.
The Mets will be the value of the organization, notwithstanding, which, by the way, is in the billions.
Are you talking about Scherzer? You're talking about Scherzer, not Verlander.
Did I say Verlander? I didn't mean Scherzer. I did mean Scherzer. Same guy. Not really. But kind of, actually. Not counting the value of the team, the ownership, the annual revenue for every team in baseball will be higher than the costs for every team. I guarantee if they play 100, if they play a season. And the owners for years and years and years have hidden the revenues, but we can extrapolate it out. They always do. You know, there's stuff that's public that can get it out. Ownership is making money hand over fist, and it's only getting more and more and more and more.
I mean, when you talk, somebody brought up, I saw it scroll by in chat, brought up the playoffs. You know, they wanted a higher share or whatever. What did the year that the Dodgers won, what did they get? What was the player share at the end that they got paid for going on and winning? Was $200,000?
I don't know. I'll type it in. Players share Dodgers championship. Oh, I can't spell.
But what did the owners make off of the World Series? I mean, you're talking about 25 players and coaches or whatever, and they get a pool where then they'll whack it up and they'll give players money.
Why is there even a playoff pool and a World Series pool? Because there's tons of money being made.
Oh, if you go all the way through, it sounds nice. Oh, what are they crying for? They made a couple 100,000, but that was one team, 25 players. But how much did the owners make from that? You know, from all the playoffs, from TV, from, you know, the stands are always full. The merchandise, I mean, is flying.
How is it not fair that the owners who want Mike Trout on their team can decide what to pay him? What's unfair about that? Yeah. So let me explain that to me. Why do the owners have to make rules so the owners don't pay players more than they want to pay them? It's ridiculous. I could listen to baseball all night long, says Hatbox Goes. Baseball has not made good decisions as a league for a few years now. Yeah, since C-League. Love baseball, NFL, college basketball, football, but don't like the NBA. I can't like the NBA either. And
I haven't watched the game.
I haven't liked the politics of the NBA, but it's really the James Harden. It's James Harden and the referees. I can't stand it. You know, and by the way, LeBron's a putz. He does good things for his community, but I can't. I'm so sick of him. I'm heavy player side, says Mike Andor Val from Passholder Fair. The way contracts for younger players are handled is terrible. I totally agree. I don't know why. If people would pay attention to the lack of freedom that the professional athlete in America has, they'd be horrified. Look, like it's the NCAA argument. We've been screwing athletes in America because a very small percentage become filthy rich. And so because there's Max Scherzers every year get $50 million contracts, everybody all the way down to college is getting screwed. Now, just recently, the NCAA, the PILs, player image license, whatever they call them, now everybody's making $1 down there. Pretty soon the NCAA players in the big college football programs are going to be making more than minor league baseball players.
Yeah, and until 1972 with Curt Flood, it was way worse.
Yeah,
I mean, the owners put a piece of paper in front of you. This is what I'm going to pay you this year. If you don't want it, all right, retire.
I really, again, arrogant Jeff's going to come out. I don't know if you're educated. I don't know how, and I apologize if that sounds rude, But if you educate yourself on it, you read up on it, I don't know how you can be on the owner's side. And I am not some crazy political zealot who hates rich people. Quite the opposite. I love rich people. So I'm not anti the rich guy. If I was, I'd be anti the owners. I think you have to not want to think about this. And again, I know I'm probably coming off arrogant. I'm sorry. I just don't get how anyone is on the owner's side. I had a good friend that got traded from the St. Louis to the Blue Jays. He hated it because he had to pay way more taxes. Yeah. See, again, think about that. So you were a police officer. I worked in the nonprofits. Can you imagine going to work one day and Sarge, yeah, come on into my office. Yeah. Where did you lived in New Jersey? Where'd you live? I don't, doesn't matter. You've got to go to Wyoming today. And, you'll be free from the contract that we had. They get to have the contract and you'll be free to sign anywhere you want in 4 years. What?
Yeah.
It's insane. Cricket says, hey, Jeff, for one show, can you break down, where'd it go? A player's contract. What is their base salary? What are bonuses? So, sure. If you finish number 2 in the Cy Young, yeah. Well, very few people, if you got number 2 in the Cy Young, would they get anything? It is a very agent contract heavy kind of thing. Most people are kind of on a scale system. The vast majority of them until they get to arbitration. Nick says, especially minor league players, they don't make enough money to get through. They do not. That's right. They pay for a lot of things just to make it to the big show. I've heard a lot of horror stories from minor league players. Me too. It was even worse for the athletes in college sports, football and baseball and otherwise, until just recently. And again, I apologize if you really like Bernie Sanders, you're not going to like this right now. The free market is the way to get out of this. Athletes in colleges are making, even the fringe athletes now can make money. I mean, I've got a little piece of my life in this world. I used to have a lot of my life in this world. And now even like girls on the volleyball team are getting local contracts with the local donut shop and stuff. I mean, you couldn't take your girlfriend to the movies as an athlete, as an NCAA football athlete. They were forced to break the rules.
Yep.
To be able to have enough money to have shoes.
Yep.
Go to the movies with their girl.
Or eat.
Good.
Or eat. I said a lot of
it was bad. And so that's gotten fixed. And I have confidence that this will help, but
not to get off track here real quick.
Okay.
Talking about that. Have you been reading the articles with Peyton Manning's nephew? He's going to be a senior this coming year in high school. He's a quarterback. He's like the top recruit in the country.
Arch Manning.
Yeah, Arch Manning. Yeah.
It's
Did
Cooper Manning's son.
The numbers that they're putting out before he steps foot on a college field? Once he's out of high school, he's going to be worth at least signing stuff in excess of $10 million.
If I'm Arch Manning, I don't let anybody tackle me the whole year. If it's a pass play, I throw it before I get to my third step. Every time. If coach calls a run to me, I'm pitching. But let's be real. I joke. I guarantee he's got one of those insurance policies. So he's already a millionaire for life because of that. But yeah, the NIL, the name and likeness, I think it's NIL, name and likeness deals that are finally legal are.
They say before he steps foot on the college field, he's going to be worth more than $10 million.
Yeah. I love it. And again, in the free market, you don't have to go pay Arch Manning, but if they want to, why not let them? Hey, when I was 6 years old, the first baseball team I ever played on was called Frank's Happy Donuts. Great freaking name, right? And it was a green hat and it said Frank's Happy Donuts. It wasn't a bail bondsman like in Bad News Bears, but it was the next best thing. Frank's Happy freaking Donuts. As a 6-year-old, I was running around with the logo for Frank's Happy Donuts on my head. Why? Because somebody went and said, hey, give me $120. It'll help us pay for these uniforms. And we'll slap Frank's freaking Happy Donuts on the 6-year-old hats. We're cool with that, but we're not cool with Arch Manning getting paid. And we are obviously now. Doesn't this go back to people complaining the big players in any major sport, baseball, football, soccer? Yeah, I think it's Jonathan with no trepidation at all. I will say clearly, it is jealousy of the rich. It is non-understanding of the economics of sports, and it is not wanting to do any research and just, oh, they're rich, they play a kid's game, which makes it jealousy. It is. It's the same hot take. It's the same reason why everybody hates Bob Chapek in the Disney community right now.
And Pass Holder Pair just made a good comment, and I kind of agree with him. You're going to have, if they expand the playoffs as far as they expand them, you're going to have teams 10, 15, 20 games under 500.
Oh, yeah. Well,
technically could be in the playoffs.
How many years in a row do the Baltimore Orioles win 60 and lose 102 or more?
Yeah.
And they're profitable every year. Why, if you're Peter Angelos, the owner of the Orioles, when you got the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, you're not going to win for a while. What's your incentive to spend money? You're going to be profitable more so than if you spend money? How stupid is that? Hatbox Ghost says, I like the idea of salary caps in baseball. I don't. I hate it. What do you do for a living? Are you a teacher? Should they have salary caps there? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. We need to have a rule for the owners to not pay what they want to pay. Is that what you're saying? The small team market's competitive. The small teams are making money for not paying people. Steinbrenner used all the big market revenue for years to stack up great players. I disagree. I love you. You're my friend. I disagree. I couldn't disagree more. I worry. Oh, here's Pass Holder Pair's comment. I worry I have with playoff expansions that teams will pay less on players knowing they can still make the playoffs and grab a ton of TV revenue. So that's the biggest thing the players are complaining about. The incentive for the owners to tank hurts the players and hurts the game and screws the fans. If the worst teams in baseball are still profitable, the system ain't broke. Yeah, Bernie is a millionaire too. That's right. And I don't mean to be political, but I'm not a fan of Bernie.
One of the things that they wanted, the players are trying to get in, rather than if you finish in last, you get the number one pick. They want to go to the lottery, which might, curtail some of that tanking at the end of the season
for the draft.
Yeah.
So I've read that. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Let's be real. The draft this ain't the NBA. This ain't the NFL. You're not going to get Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert and be better instantly. Major League Baseball, the very best prospects, if it's a year where everyone knows who the number one pick is, which is very, very rare, he is still not a major league for 2, 3, 4 years. It's just a different sport.
Yeah, there's very, very few come up in less than 2 years. I mean, it's sometimes 4, 6, 7 years before they come up.
I don't think the lottery, they aren't. See, I think that's a misnomer, Bill. I think that people think that people tank so they can get the first round pick because that's what the NBA does.
That's what the NFL does too.
The NBA for sure, though. It's obvious.
Yeah.
They tank because it's profitable, and that sucks. If you run the local CVS and you get paid by all the good CVSs, if you suck, you're not working harder. Like, again, I'm trying not to be political here, but if you run the local CVS in Armpit, USA, and you can bust your butt to make that place profitable, or instead of that, just tank, do a horrible job, don't make any money, and then somebody's going to send you a bunch of money at the end of the year because somebody did pay their employees well. Like, if you're for a minimum wage, but not, and the salary cap, I'd like to hear where your brain's at. I don't understand it. I don't. Beth, hello, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Just because baseball players have a rad job, boy, do they, right? Doesn't mean they should be paid less. They deserve to be paid their worth. And who should determine that worth? Beth, amen. I totally agree. I'm so glad to see you here. Hope you subscribe. Hope you stick around. I think, again, if the owners are afraid to pay what they want to pay, so they legislate it, that's insane. Like, what do you do? And you should go up, whatever your job is, and you go to work, and you're a mailman, and you can look at. We're not going to pay you what you're worth. I mean, and that's probably a bad example because it's a government job, so it's probably all scaled out. But they pay a ton in those kind of jobs, right? Everybody wants those kind of jobs. If your boss was told, well, you can never go more than this, why are you working harder? I mean,
well, think about it. Mike Trout makes what, $33-34 million a year. It's a lot of money.
See you, Nick. Have a great night. Yeah, it is. Hey,
how much money are the Angels making off of Mike Trout by the extra asses he's putting in the seats?
Way more.
How many jerseys are being sold with that Angels logo on the front? I mean, they're making a ton of money off of Mike Trout.
We have to think the owners are stupid, which I do, to pay the players more. If the owners don't want to pay the salaries, don't. But they do want to pay the salaries. Why? Why do the owners have to legislate a rule to not pay the players more? Because they're just really nice guys. They just want to pay them the money. Or could it be that if they spend X, they get X times 5?
Yep.
You,
I mean, as bad as the Angels have
Jonathan, I
been
appreciate you. You have a great night, buddy.
the last few years, I mean, and they've always pretty much got a packed house there. Why is that? Like Trout. I mean,
And let's be real. You can have an empty stadium. You're still profitable. The seats in the, of course, it's money. They're going and buying their $12 beers. Of course, there's a lot of revenue there, but it's the local TV revenue over the last 5 to 10 years that have taken everyone's making money to now everyone's making insane money. I mean, if you just look at the value of the franchises, are they going up or down?
Yeah, they're not just going up, they're skyrocketing.
Must be they're stupid and they're we're losing money the last 5 years. Okay, let's see what team goes up for sell the next. And if they, by the way, sell. Yeah. Because I tell you what, crazy billionaires want to have a team. So if you're losing money, why aren't you selling it? Oh, because you're not. What else you want to say? I've been fired up this whole night. I'm probably scaring people away, but anything else you want to say before we close up?
No, I was just going to, you're talking about the discrepancy between the upper echelon and the lower echelon. The lower team should all mold their franchises off the Tampa Bay team. I mean, every year they're paying their whole team probably what Scherzer is going to get paid this year in New York. Maybe they might pay a little more in total salaries, but every year for the last, 10, 15 years, I know since at least 2008 when they played the Phillies in the World Series, they've been competitive every year up against the Yankees, who are spending $230 million, $250 million a year. And they're spending maybe, I don't know the exact number, but it's probably in the low 40s to $50 million.
Is there empirical evidence that paying players a lot wins you the World Series? No.
The Dodgers, I mean, they won the year before in the shortened season, but last year, I mean,
because let's be real. When you're at the top 600 players or the top 800 players, the best player in baseball, Juan Soto or whoever it is the best player in baseball. But he's not 20 standard deviations better than the backup outfielder for the Nationals. Is he better? Of course. WAR is a stat in baseball. Okay. Who had WAR is basically wins above replacement. So WAR is how many a number representation of how many more wins you bring your team. And of course it's a guesstimate. So the best players in baseball last year's WAR was 9 games. So Shohei Ohtani's WAR, and this is an outlier because he was a great pitcher and a great hitter. So the best baseball player in baseball had a WAR of 9 games. So the best player in baseball last year was statistically estimated at being worth 9 wins more for the Angels than the average player in Major League Baseball. So the best player in baseball gets you 9 games. 9. You start at 81 and 81 if you go half. So if you're 81 and 81 and everybody's average on your team and you have Shohei Ohtani last year, you'd win 90. That ain't taking you to the playoffs, but you see my point? So that's the best player in baseball. The really good players are going to have a WAR of 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah.
My point is, at this level, the best player in baseball and the backup for him, while he's the best player is way better, it's not that much. Baseball is a beautiful game for a bunch of reasons. When you have the best players and the best on 32 rosters, anybody can win. So the Yankees' old school reason for paying those players wasn't to win games. It was to sell tickets.
Yep. Because they were in New York, and that's what the fans wanted. They wanted the best team supposedly on the field.
Well, they wanted the superstar.
Yeah.
Broadway.
I mean, Tampa Bay is a great example. I mean, they can't afford the players to keep them once they reach free agency or whatever, but they're doing something right in their minor leagues too. I mean, every year they got prospects.
Well, and it's interesting too. We've got all of this controls on how to spend, and then players come from Asia or the Dominican, Latin America, and they're getting paid bank because the rules are lax there. And it's just crazy. The Rays would love an expanded playoffs. They would instantly double the number of games per year with more than 10,000 fans in attendance. That's exactly right. I love that. I don't know why when we expanded over the last 2 expansions, Florida ended up getting 2 teams. I mean, I guess they must have had data that Florida population was going to do it. I grew up in San Diego. I could have told you Florida wasn't going to have great attendance. In beautiful towns, even in LA where they have huge attendance, they show up in the 3rd inning and they leave by the 7th. It's just different. Anyway, we're getting a little off topic, but I had fun tonight. I hope you did too. I hope you guys in chat had fun. Bill, what do you want to end with? Talk baseball, talk your radio station, talk anything you want.
No, I just hope we have games sooner than later. And it just seems like we were having the same conversation 2 years ago in 2020. Once, when COVID hit and they started spring training and got shut down, we were having the same thing. Memorial Day, 4th of July, and it was closer to 4th of July. I think I had said 4th of July, and you were shooting and hoping for May. And when they started the season, it was pretty close to the 4th. And I just don't like the way it's going.
I'm not very positive that this is going to go well.
No. And like I said, it's been festering for a few years. And
if I could be a little off topic, but not really, like, I think that baseball, they don't have a responsibility, but boy, do they have an opportunity. I mean, the world's been in a weird place for a while, right? Like, we were really scared of some murder hornets. And it turns out that wasn't what we should have been worried about. And we've been hit for 2-3 years with some, come on, man. You turn on Fox, you turn on CNN, you turn on MSNBC. It ain't positive stuff right now. And I'm not saying playing baseball is going to save the world, but don't we deserve a break? You're billionaires. Let them play. Pay them. Here's how you lower owners. I know you're not listening. Here's a prescription for getting what you want, less money paid in salaries. Lose the salary cap. Make everyone a free agent. You sign them to whatever length contract you want. Contract lengths will come down. Everyone will want to be a free agent. There'll be more people to compete with, and you won't have a $50 million pitcher every freaking year. Because there's 5 or 6 people every year that are going to be the top of the free agent thing. So if everyone can go everywhere, prices are cost for players, salaries on average will come down because there'll be more people to sign. But because of the way you have it, idiot owners, you've got a very small group. If you need a starting pitcher, you got 12 to pick from, 20 to pick from. There's 32 freaking teams that they all need 3. If you need a catcher, there's 7 to pick from every year. 1 elite, 2 may be good, and 3 that you hope are going to be good. And you throw money at them because you're stuck, because you need them. The answer is the opposite of what they do. Open it up. Stop trying to control everything, you freaking control freaks. Open it up. Have more people to sign every year. Costs come down. Am I wrong, Bill?
At this point, it's. I have to agree with you.
It would work.
What they're doing now hasn't been working. And
thank you, buddy.
Yeah, the salaries are high, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this or not. I just don't understand how a pitcher is worth more. I mean, Scherzer's a hell of a pitcher. He's top 5, no doubt, probably top 3 in all of baseball, if not top 1. But how is he worth that much more money than a player like Trout? Now, Ohtani is a different player because he's a two-way player. But you got a player
going to get paid when he's a free agent. How much is he going to get paid?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. But I mean, you got a player that plays a starting pitcher. What's the most anymore that they're going to pitch? 30 games in a season, 29 games in a season, and out of that, you don't get a lot of
ever before.
You don't get a lot of 20-game winners. So at the most, that top end pitcher is going to win anywhere from maybe 16 to 21 games. So you're paying
at the top.
You're paying somebody that's pitching every 5 days the same price that you're paying, a Mike Trout when he's healthy, or Soto or Tatis. I've never understood that. Yeah, there's not that many top pitchers. I mean, that's the only reason and why you got to get them when you can. But I don't understand how somebody like Scherzer is worth that compared
and
to an superstar.
The answer is right in your face. The answer is because they have the money.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not paying people money they don't have. I run a nonprofit. We have less than 10 employees. I don't pay people more than I have. I pay them what I can pay them. They can work for me or not. And happily, the people who work for me like working for me. Hallelujah. A player can't, like I worked for the Boys and Girls Club since 1993. I loved what I did. If my boss, if I decided I didn't want to work for an organization or a person, I left because I could. They can't.
Yep.
I think it's crazy. I think it's a good place to end. What do you think? Hey, talk about Magic Mouse Radio one more time for anybody who just popped in.
Yep. We got a lot of new things coming. We just started, we announced it today. We're going to start a listeners hour every week, and you check out our Facebook page or Instagram page, and we have a number now that you can call in, leave us a message.
Love it.
What song you want to hear, and we'll play, we'll edit your message, and we'll play it on the air before we play your song. And that's going to be every Monday at 12 noon. We're gonna have the Magic of the Mouse Radio Listeners Hour, and it's songs that the listeners request. And like I said, you'll get your message that you leave us. Will play on the air before your song does. So
that's fun.
We're looking forward to that. And me and Jeff have something we'll probably announce in the next week or two. We're going to start doing.
I'm excited about it.
A show every week with just a short show with the latest Disney news. So there'll be more about that coming. And
the baseball show is going to continue, God willing and wife willing, Thursday nights after NFL Inside the Huddle over on Pete's channel. We're going to be doing some baseball over here. We will talk some other sports too on a Thursday night when we got a UFC. Well, I'm sure I'll talk about that. Just the big sports events, but mostly baseball because I love baseball. Also, I've got some other stuff in the baseball realm that I'm not ready to announce, but I'm been asked to do something that I'm likely going to say yes on. So you'll get to hear about that here soon. Sunday night, Creator Talk Live. Probably my favorite show, to be real. I just really like helping people and conversing with people who want to create stuff. I've always have. And that's my show on Sunday nights. Creator Talk Live. This week's guest is my friend Ken, the content coach. He's also a Packers fan. So I had Bill on, and I'm gonna have Ken on. So I'm gonna probably need some medication by the end of Sunday night, but we'll get through it as best we can. It'll be a good conversation.
You'll do fine.
I don't know. We'll see. I think that's it. Did I miss anything? You got any plans for this weekend before I say goodbye to people? Let me know in chat. 1 minute, 2 minutes max. Let me know in chat what you're doing this weekend. Bill, what are you doing this weekend? And then we'll
dog nursing.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Or she, whatever. I hope your puppy is okay.
He's named after the big ear guy, in Disney himself, Mickey.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If I did, I forgot.
Yeah.
I've got some classes I'm teaching tomorrow. Do you know what the red paperclip challenge was or is?
No.
Well, I might share it with my YouTube audience. I won't bore you, but if you know in chat what the red paperclip challenge is, I got some junior high kids doing that. It'll be a lot of fun. I think I will. I'll do a video because I think it'll be fun. And then this weekend, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's going to be 80 degrees here in beautiful Fort Worth. So I'm probably going to get outside. Maybe I'll go
35 here right now.
35. You know, you're not a tree, right? You can move.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Bill. He's my buddy. Go check out Magic and Mouse Radio. Check out his Facebook page. I'm Jeff, Dole Whip Dad. We do Disney content. We do creator content. And we're doing some sports too. I know. It's not the best way to grow a channel, but I don't care. I'm having fun. And I appreciate you guys being here. Pass holder pair, thank you for the super chat. Members of my channel showing up in green, thank you for being members. If you've been here for 1 second or the whole time, I appreciate you. If you're on the replay, hashtag team replay, you stayed for an hour 20, you're amazing. I love you all, and I mean it. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be good. Pray for Ukraine. If that pisses you off, bye. See ya.